Hey guys, Sirena Barefoot Gypsy. Hello. Hey, thank you to all my subscribers. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, Earlier when I was coconut oil pulling, uh, I started to write, the world would have you stuck in the paradigm of, and I had this, I'm getting people bumps, and I had this whole message, and I'm not recalling it quite how it was coming through earlier. Um, but it's kind of like the world will have you stuck in the paradigm of, and I was, how can I say that? It was coming up that, um, say, religion, for instance. Now, the way that they present following God and being um, living without sin and all that stuff, right? So people end up feeling like if they drink or they have some kind of substance abuse or whatever, porn or just whatever, that you're sinning and you're not going to like go to heaven or anything. um and I just heard they weigh your heart. So if you're struggling with anything that you want to get rid of, it's not that you're how can I explain this? It's not that you're going to hell per se. It's just, you know, stuck in the old paradigm. I don't know. How can I can't find the words. Um, Being less than that God wouldn't love you or however you want to take it. Um, what I've been coming to understand is yes, doing things that are harmful for us in all kinds of levels is not great for our human, our mental, our emotional well-being, any of it, right? Health or anything. But as you come home to yourself and you begin to raise your consciousness, these things will begin to fall away. Thank you. What's coming through is because that won't be like your main focus. It's like, don't get stuck in the old paradigm of addiction. You can't get over it. You can't do this or you can't get close to God. You know, isn't it when we're at the lowest part of our lives that a lot of times that's when we find God, or that's when we look to the Father, right? Wouldn't turn you away. They would just ask. They said they would like you to be of sober mind, because if you are following that path, you would be different. So, smoking cigarettes and all those things, although they're not good, but I guess the moral of the story is don't allow these things, these to keep you back, to hold you back. Keep going forward, because eventually these things will fall away. But they're telling me like it's designed by the labels and all these things. It's designed to keep you in that state of you'll never get there or you're not worthy. Is that making sense? Dang it. I just, oh, it was coming through so much better earlier, and I've been had so many other things to do to get ready. But like I just had to make my smoothie, I had to do my juice and all that stuff. So not to fixate and focus on, you know, the bad habits or the things that you want to get rid of, but focusing, thank you, more on God and more on love and knowing, and God knows your heart, your higher self knows. These are things that you no longer want in your life. And it's a process. And breaking free from that is beginning to love yourself more. But the old paradigm in our egos and the way our programming and the way we're used to living has us trapped. It's like, why do you get sober and then fall back into it? Oh, because you're hanging around people that do it, or you're doing this. But the paradigm is, it's not that per se. What? Okay. Oh, I'm not sure how to say. Not being fixated so much on you're worthless, it's helpless because God would never love you, or whatever, if you do this, that, and the other thing. Yes, it's frowned upon in this establishment. But focus on your healing and on the things that you want, and on a healthier lifestyle or whatever. There's something else that was coming up, and I had to say that to lose it. Why did I say that part when I should have just said, ugh? Anyway, will it come back? I mean, just think about who Jesus spent his time with. The ones that he spoke to, the ones that he ministered to, the ones that were down and out. See, because doing substances and things that take us out of our mind, per se, things, doing things to make us run from ourselves and not face things, these are the things that keep us separated from going within, facing the things we need to face within ourselves and about ourselves. That's why those things are no good. Plus, it's no good for your body. And the salvation and the growth and the being able to live in the new paradigm, in the new earth, for a millennia of peace, in the higher realm, in the higher ascension, the fifth dimension, whatever you want to call it. But, this time there's things that keep us from doing the work and facing ourselves that need to be done. And the way they put it, sacrificing, giving up all the things that we think bring us joy and happiness, but really they don't. That we have to give up all these things that are horrible for our body, our mind, destroys relationships of all kinds, destroys ourselves, keeps us in darkness. Oh, we don't want to sacrifice those things. We want to hold on to it. It's the verbiage. It's how they teach it. It's how they speak it. And in our programmed society, the control group that we are, you go into church, and they talk about how, oh, we're so not worthy and we should be more like Jesus. How can we be like Jesus? He was perfect. All of that is just a setup for failure. But if you listen to your soul, to your heart, to who you are, and read and meditate on the word, and you find your truth. See, I feel like this is not coming out right. I hope anyway, it's the way we look at things. It's the whole, I remember earlier on in my journey, I when I was going to church and all that, and I was really wholeheartedly getting into it, even and when I would go, I always felt horrible, like I could never achieve this, like I'll never be good enough. Thank you. I just heard you were already good enough. just breaking free from this paradigm, from this world that, by the use of words and labels and how we speak things and how it's portrayed, if you think about it, it'd be so much easier to just say, follow God, because you get peace and happiness. But they want to focus more on don't be a sinner, right? So then we're like, well, we don't want to give up these things. We want to go out and drink. I want to go have sex. I don't want to be married first, or whatever it is, So then it turns people away from God, from within themselves, just by the way it's spoken and taught. And you know what? If you get sober, or whatever your thing is, and then you end up falling back into it, then you do it again, and you feel like it's a repeating pattern you're never going to get out of, but you keep stopping, and it's different every time. Look at that. Look at, maybe I'm repeating this for you to break out of the mindset of the separation, of you'll never get anywhere. See, I think we put too much emphasis on things that we don't want in our lives, and we feel it on such a deep level that it manifests faster and it stays there. I'm hearing that. I want to be different. I want to be changed. Micah something, I think. Is that the song? No, that's Nobody. I don't know. Anyway. It did not, I'm not articulating this properly, perhaps. I hope you got something out of that, though. I do apologize if it's not really making sense. I'm trying to find the words. Maybe this is exactly how I was supposed to say it. I've got to go find, I don't have a bandana here. I've got to go find a shirt or something I can cut up so I can wear it when I'm using the concrete saw, cutting a bunch of rock and shit, so I don't have to breathe in all that dust. I gotta go find something to be able to put over my freaking face hole so I can breathe when I'm out there. But anyway, I don't know. Some of the most, I heard holy, but I don't know, that's what I heard, but some of the most people that have been humbled, that are closest to God, closest to Jesus, and have an understanding, are usually the ones that are, on the street, or they're addicts, or whatever. And you know what? Maybe the situation, I'm seeing like porn, adult stores, or whatever that you can go into, whatever it is, strip club, whatever, drugs, alcohol, shopping, eating, whatever. Maybe if you hadn't backslid or whatever, you wouldn't have met that one person. Just looking at things differently. It's not giving an okay to do things. It's just, it's your life. You can do with it what you want. It's your soul that matters. It's a time to start looking at things in a different way. This has been a long journey for me, and it's still ongoing. I want to break free, And I know you don't judge people, But people react a funny way when you begin to change and you heal and you don't do those things anymore. And now you maybe don't talk to them, or if you do, you don't do the same things. And then they are like, well, you just think we're better than you, and da da da. Or how if they react in a negative way, that's their demons per se. You know what I mean? Just using that as a whatever. You know? Begin to play around with things, use different words. But if you're going to use affirmations to do something you want, instead of saying, I don't want to do drugs anymore, or I don't want to do this anymore, just be like, I have a healthy lifestyle. I have healthy habits now. And please, if you go to any 12-step program of any kind, please do not say, hi, my name is Sirena. I am an addict, or I'm a druggie, or I'm an alcoholic. No. Hi, my name's Sirena. I'm a child of God. Hi, my name is Sirena. I'm sober. Hi, my name is Sirena. I'm blessed. Hi, my name is Sirena. I'm blessed by God. Whatever. I'm healing. But I am declares over your life. That's your own spell you put on yourself. You are now, I am this. You are now, I am that. I am, right? I am. You're declaring, you're casting a spell, you're putting out to the universe and out to the energetic field, the frequency, that you want to be more of that. That's why people that get sober, and they've been sober 10 years, and they still feel like they're fighting something. You're not fighting anything. It's because you're going to these places and you're telling yourself and you're declaring that you are still that, and you're not. Not, oh, once an addict, always an addict. No, it doesn't have to be that way. It's a choice. But if you're doing something that's working for you, don't count the day. I mean, don't listen to what I have to say. This is just my observation and things about me and works for me. And they'd be like, Sirena, well, you have backslid, da da da. So obviously it didn't work. Listen, you can't change the past. All you can do is now. And it's a learning and growing situation. So if, you've tried all these different ways, you've learned that you could set your mind up and it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to take this long, or it doesn't have to do this, or it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be any of that. We're the creators. But you've been sober a long time and you still struggle with it. Why do you still struggle with it when you're sober? I don't know. That was for somebody. And for some reason, alcohol's coming up a lot with that. That was what I kept feeling, that energy was. I'm speaking to somebody that maybe wants to stop drinking alcohol as much or something. But yeah, it's definitely coming through as alcohol. You're not your past. You can drop that and you can get a new label if you want. But you've been through these hardships. But you're not that anymore. Drop that label. Drop that thing, that old paradigm of that, and replace it with something new. You got sober. You have a desire to help boys, fatherless children, for whatever reason, or young ones in your community. Help them. Say, hey, you know what? I was this. I was a gangbanger. I used to steal. I maybe killed someone or whatever. I've got chills. Or whatever. It's your testimony. But look at you now. Somebody's going to relate to you and go, wow. She made it out of that people bump. she made it out of that a spark of hope. That's why we're to share our stories. Don't be ashamed of things you've done in the past, because you're not doing those things now. You overcame. And then, my stomach wrong. And then you can tell them how you overcame. Well, it was the love of God. The love of God in you. Teach the young ones. Sow a seed, teach the children, right? Sow a seed of love, teach the children. We're all God's children. Namaste.